Well, good morning and welcome to the Grow Omaha Show. Glad you are with us on this beautiful spring weekend. I'm Jeff Beals from NAI, NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate Company. That's Omaha's premier commercial real estate firm, serving all of Nebraska and western Iowa. We're also brought to you by D&M Roofing, top-notch residential and commercial roofing contractor services throughout the metro area. So we have that out of the way. It's time to move to the next phase of the introduction, and that is my co-host, a man who is wearing his springtime pastel shirt, Trenton Magid.
Sun, and it's Easter weekend.
Yeah, we're supposed to have some pretty nice weather today and tomorrow to get out there and enjoy the holiday weekend.
If the weather was like this year-round, we'd have 15 million people in Omaha.
If the weather was like this year-round, we would have a population problem the other direction. We don't have enough people right now, but
Right.
we would have way the other situation.
And that's why the Chamber of Commerce and everyone has to recruit. This is recruiting season to have people move to Omaha.
Yeah, January is not so much recruiting season, but now for the next 8 months, the weather is pretty good. And so this is recruiting season.
It's protest season in a lot of cities, a lot of larger cities. It's protest season. So now's the time that we need to do those billboards and come to Omaha.
And we want to remind people that as you are out enjoying this holiday weekend, what better way to enjoy it than by doing some shopping? And as always, we recommend you do that shopping at Nebraska Crossing. It's located at Interstate 80 and Highway 31 in beautiful suburban Gretna. And when you go there, hopefully you have downloaded the Fast Cash option on your Nebraska Crossing app, because if you have, you can get cash back on all your purchases. And then it kind of percolates and matures for 30 days. And then once that 30-day period comes, that cash goes onto your digital wallet on this phone, and then you can go buy pretty much whatever the heck you want.
So you go to any store out at Nebraska Crossing, you have the downloaded app. You mentioned that you heard it on the Grow Omaha show, and you still get 15% off.
Yeah, you mentioned that you heard it on the Grow Omaha show, and pretty much nothing changes, except that we get kind of some social credits with the people at Nebraska Crossing if you mention us. So we'd be thrilled if you did that, even though you don't have to. Trenton, let's go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Holly Schneiderwind and the gang at Eagle Mortgage working really hard these days, because there are a lot of people that are still refining because the interest rates are so low. And, of course, a lot of people are buying houses. Springtime. Everyone starts to think about houses in the springtime. Even if you don't ever want to move again for the rest of your life, people start thinking about houses in the springtime. Why? Spring cleaning. Well, for some people, spring cleaning is more than just the broom and the mop. It means going to get a whole new place to live. And if that's going to be you, stop by Eagle Mortgage, tell them your situation, give them a little bit of background information, then they'll start the process to get you pre-approved. When you do that, you'll be better armed for the housing extravaganza. And I'll tell you, that's important right now, Trenton, because we've been hearing all these stories about how competitive it is to get a house. Just yesterday, we were out to lunch with one of our colleagues, and she was talking about her daughter, who's about 25, and just the hard work they had to go through to get her her first house.
Yeah, we've never seen it like this. And Jeff and I don't sell houses, but we've bought a few of them. And we certainly didn't go through what people are going through today in order to get the perfect house. And a lot of times you don't get the exact house that you want, and very competitive process. But, if ever we are worried about the home improvement stores that just rocked it and did incredible things during the pandemic as essential businesses, well, now we got the spring cleanup, the outdoor stuff, and so I don't think anybody feels sorry for the home improvement stores right now.
I think they're probably doing just fine. Well, let's get into the news docket of the day. And the big story this week was Mayor Gene Stothert and the University of Nebraska Medical Center Chancellor Jeffrey Gold signed a memorandum of understanding that calls for the city of Omaha to provide $93 million in city funds to support the next project. The next project is the $2.7 billion Med Center expansion that would bring 41,000 construction jobs during the construction phases and 8,700 permanent jobs that would pay on average about $75,000 per year. And so we have been talking about this project. We're anticipating this project. We're anticipating we will hopefully soon receive information about $1.5 billion in federal funding. This was an important step. Kudos to the mayor and the city of Omaha. Kudos to Nebraska Medicine and the University of Nebraska Medical Center. This thing seems to be going forward, Trenton. When this happens, and I say when because there is every reason to be optimistic about this, we are talking about a project that would have an approximately $1.9 billion annual impact on Omaha during the construction phase and a $1.3 billion impact annually as it operates.
We love this, and it's a 1,200-bed hospital. It's not just for disaster recovery. It's not just for pandemics of the future and all these 8,700 employees just sitting around. You're never in hopes of a pandemic or a natural disaster, but it's a working hospital, from my understanding, Jeff. That this thing is it's a teaching hospital. Will have international impact, just like Nebraska Medicine did with the Ebola virus and other crazy things that are happening in the world. And it's a very necessary thing. And Omaha's been in the spotlight forever, but certainly during the pandemic. And this is a natural progression of that success.
Well, you mentioned Ebola, and certainly Ebola is what put us on the map for this sort of thing back in 2014 with the Nebraska Biocontainment Unit. And then, of course, at the beginning of the pandemic, remember when they vacated the cruise ship in Japan, where did those people come? Well, they came to Omaha. And at that time, we had the new facility in the Davis Center. And this will take it even further. I'm reading a press release from Mayor Stothart's office. It says the Memorandum of Understanding pledges up to $45 million for Project Next, and then $48 million for necessary public improvements, streets, a parking garage on the adjoining Saddle Creek campus, which would also include a new administrative building plus mixed-use development.
This is over 10 years, ladies and gentlemen.
I just don't think people realize what kind of impact this is going to have. I mean, you already, if you drive through that downtown, midtown area, it's pretty impressive, the number of multifamily buildings and other types of development that you see. You ain't seen nothing yet, because the day this becomes reality, when the feds finally say, yes, Omaha will be the first location of one of these 5 massive all bio disaster centers, kaboom. You're going to see a lot of land speculation, and you're going to see a lot of construction. It's going to be fun to watch.
No question about it. And just to be clear, as every president says and politician, Omaha was put on the map for the Ebola virus, not because they call it the Omaha virus, but because we were part of the solution. And
Precisely.
We're going to be part of the solution for anything that the next project is involved with.
You got that right. Well, hey, work is underway for the new Gretna High School at 180th Street. It's a little bit south of Cornhusker Road. So for those of you who are not terribly familiar with that newish part of Gretna, if you are on Highway 370 and you go north on 180th Street, about halfway to Cornhusker Road, there you'll see it on the west side of 180th. I drove by the construction site this week. It's a big construction site because the high schools, they come with all the athletic fields and everything else, and they're big buildings to begin with. But I find it interesting, just shows you the amount of population growth that officials in Gretna must be expecting if you already have construction on a second high school for that district.
Okay, so there's a couple new high schools that Omaha Public Schools, 60th and L Street, they're naming it which is interesting, it's the Buena Vista Bison. Mm-hmm. And bison is plural. So it's like, go bison.
Bisons.
Nope, just go bison.
But buffaloes.
Yeah, nope, bison. Anyway, so you've got those high schools. You got Gretna. You've got
Well, then you have they've announced the name of the OPS high school at 156th and Ida as Westview.
Westview, because you look to the west.
Yeah.
And then, very exciting, the Westview Expanders or something. I don't know what their did you remember what their mascot is?
No, that was not part of my show preparation. That high school mascots was part of.
It was my assignment.
That was
ladies
your
and gentlemen.
assignment.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But then you've got Elkhorn North High School.
Mm-hmm.
So you have all these schools going up. Yet our population really hasn't grown very much over the years.
Well, if you figure, I mean, we add a net of about 10,000 people a year, net gain, and
those people have to get educated.
That's right. Some of them more than others. And we haven't built a lot of high schools in recent years, so perhaps some of this was a little bit due. And
I mean, I'm all for the growth.
And I think you have to look, okay, let's look at the OPS district. Some of the high schools in OPS are bursting at the seams.
Right.
If you look, I've got kids in the Millard district. The 3 Millard high schools are all like 2,000 to 2,600 kids. I mean, the schools are pretty big.
Well, for the time they built Millard West,
that was way back in 1995.
They had trailers out there or portable classrooms almost from the start.
Yeah. Well, it's the suburban areas have fast growth, but with the new Buena Vista High School at 60th and L, we've seen extremely significant population growth in established old South Omaha, which is what has forced the need for that high school there at 60th and L.
And I have to thank, the name of the show is Grow Omaha. We've been on the air for over 17 years. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And we probably have a lot to do with the growth.
We hope at least a little, don't we? Hey, this is interesting. The deceased Omaha Sheraton Hotel, high on the hill on the northeast corner of Interstate 680 and West Dodge Expressway. I'm sorry?
Bless its heart.
Bless its heart. The actual address is 655 North 108th Street. That is going to become, if plans come to fruition, an assisted living facility. It is on a 5.56 acre site, 6 stories, 221 room hotel currently. But that is going to be, if plans come to fruition, an assisted living facility.
Great view.
And a great use for that.
Great reuse, yeah.
I mean, there would be plenty of room for a lot of amenities because if you're familiar with that former hotel, conference space, restaurant space, huge lobby area. So there would be room for all sorts of amenities that, assisted living, they have food service. A lot of times they'll have a bar, hair salon, recreational stuff. They got a pool there. So that makes a lot of sense as a reuse.
They can have the world's largest shuffleboard courts in that conference center.
Hey, don't you make fun of shuffleboard. I kind of like playing that game.
It's coming back.
I went and visited my in-laws who winter in Arizona, and they have an outdoor shuffleboard area. That was kind of fun. My son and I got pretty competitive playing that stuff. Don't be talking down about shuffleboard.
I got shuffleboard elbow on a cruise ship one time.
I
had to lay off it for like 3 days.
You can't be too careful. Well, we want to tell people about something pretty exciting. We have a new newsletter that is going to be coming out. So Grow Omaha has been around for 17 years, and we decided we have gotten to the point now where there is too much news for us to report in the show. In order to report all of the news we want to report on the show, it would be nothing but an hour-long newscast. Boom, boom, boom. That's how much is going on in this town. So we have created this thing called the Grow Omaha Weekly Market Report. And we're going to release it for the first time this week. And let me tell you a little bit about the sections we're going to have. The first section will always be new restaurants and retailers. And what's the reason for that, Trenton?
Everybody loves them.
Yeah. New restaurants are the red meat of Grow Omaha. People love hearing about that. So we'll always have our new restaurants and retail features at the top of the e-newsletter. Then we will have the Grow Omaha news of the week. And then we're going to have local Omaha business news after that. So you don't want to miss this. And we have about 6,100 people queued up so far who are people that are clients of our companies and friends and contacts that we have, people in our industry. However, it's open to everyone. But in order to get it, we need your email address. So if you would like to receive this new Grow Omaha Weekly Market Report, which is going to be very, very content heavy and Grow Omaha news type stuff, you have 2 options. One is to send an email to news@growomaha.com. That's news@growomaha.com. Just say something like newsletter in the subject line. That's all we need, because then we'll just pull your email address from your email.
The thousands of other people that send it in.
The other option would be to direct message us through the Grow Omaha Facebook page and just say newsletter and write your email address on there. But we're going to do that. I think we're still debating whether it's going to be Tuesday morning or Thursday morning, but it's going to be this week, and we're going to get it out, and we would love to have you be a part of this. This will be, in my opinion, obviously I'm biased, but probably the single most interesting newsletter you'll read each week.
And the most read newspaper in the city.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to provide a lot more business news.
All digital.
It's going to provide a lot more business news than some other publications that supposedly report on
You can give
business.
us other friends' emails as well, as long as it's legit and they want the weekly newsletter, and you're going to be informed. Your colleagues, your friends are going to be informed. But that's not all, Jeff.
It isn't?
No, because
this wasn't on the script.
Believe it or not, we have sponsorship opportunities. And
oh, yeah.
And we have an opportunity for you to sponsor the Grow Omaha newsletter, with weekly newsletter with clickability. Plus, it can be tied into some interviews on here if we like you, and it's legitimate. And, because there'll be a lot of people that just, are friends that want to just put their name on there.
Yeah.
Something, but we prefer that you're promoting a business that ties into Omaha.
Okay, so again, if you want to be a subscriber, and it's totally free, just send your email to news@growomaha.com or DM us on Facebook. All right, that's it for the news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about a groundbreaking in Ralston, and we're going to talk about construction at 144th and Dodge. You don't want to miss any of that. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid from NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate. We're also brought to you by D&M Roofing, and we're going to be right back on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
So now that you're back from sending us your email addresses and that of your grandparents, parents, kids, just so you know, you still have to listen to this show. You have to watch it on our YouTube channel. And you got to get the whole Grow Omaha package.
Okay, Trenton is violating what's called the fourth wall.
I've told Amy about that.
By talking right to the
And
camera.
we're talking to our camera person,
okay.
Amy.
But the newsletter will be definitely worth subscribing.
Was that Matthew Broderick? Who was in Yonkers, the movie where they're...
Oh, you're thinking Ferris Bueller's
Yeah, Ferris Bueller's. Is that Matthew Broderick? We're talking to the audience. Yeah.
Remember at the end of the movie,
you're still here? Go to the bathroom.
It's over. Go home.
Amy, come get on camera. Come, you look very nice today. Oh, you always look nice. Come here.
Come here.
Come here.
Come on.
You did your makeup and everything. Come on.
What? I always do it.
Amy's our camera.
Just because I'm wearing the sweater and this. That's it. That's the difference. Ripped jeans.
I'm not allowed to touch her equipment or I would turn it on her.
Amy's a camera person.
Are you talking about the Hinge Project or are you talking about something different?
Hinge Project.
So did Dave Rosacker reach out to you? He called. He's on the planning board. He was on the planning board with me.
So.
I was on the planning board with him, and that he's doing some construction work over there. He wants to know if we want that principal to be on here. It'd be good if the guy that was that built Sojourn.
Yeah. Oh, Gordon's Whitten.
Probably.
Whitten something.
So we can have him on.
It's a great project. We'd definitely talk about it. I just kind of want to talk about that a little bit, and then we'll mention the elevator stair tower going in for Union Bank. I noticed that the Union Bank 5-story office building in Hartwood Preserve. But the Ralston thing, Greenery District, they're talking. I've seen some renderings. It was on KETV. They had like balconies up on the top of these 3-story buildings, a 27-foot outdoor LED screen.
Wow.
It's going to be pretty cool. They're going to have concerts out there, just programs.
We're not even going to talk about the restaurateur that was supposed to come on, and he blew us off yesterday with the request that he wanted to do the show later today. However, this is a live show, so we can't really do that to Delaney and KFAB and the other 20,000 people that listen to our show. So we're not even going to talk about him.
By the way, something we are going to do to you on April 24th. We're going to do a live remote from Nebraska Crossing.
Yeah, your first live remote with us.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll be on the phones with you back in mission control.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah. Last time we did when you were actually on site.
Oh yeah.
Remember
yeah.
that? Yeah, at Nebraska Crossing.
I'm not there.
What's that?
Were you there? Was I
Yeah,
there?
Delaney,
Oh.
weren't you interning there? Isn't that where we first met you? It was at a live remote.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do remotes.
Yeah, that's where we first met you. It was a live remote. I'm almost positive it was Nebraska Crossing.
What year would it have been? I've been here for 2 years. So.
19, because we didn't do one.
Oh, then no. Well,
We didn't do one in 2020, but you were brand. Oh, new. You were brand. I think you were brand new.
okay. Then
Yeah.
yeah, probably.
This is riveting stuff, ladies and gentlemen.
And welcome back to Grow Omaha, the area's only show dedicated to the growth and development of your favorite city. I'm Jeff Beals, sitting next to Trenton Magid of NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate. We're also brought to you by D&M Roofing, and we highly recommend D&M Roofing for anyone that wants to replace the roof in their house, fix the roof in their house, or if you own or make decisions for a commercial building, you won't find anyone who does a better job with that. And also, commercial property owners and managers, check out their preventative maintenance program for office buildings, warehouses, and other commercial buildings. D&Mroofing.com. Well, if you've driven by 144th and West Dodge Road in the last day or two, you have noticed something new sticking up out of the ground. Either an elevator tower or a stair tower is underway for what will become a 5-story Union Bank office building. So construction of office buildings, contrary to some people's beliefs, are not necessarily endangered.
And some really positive news about the future of office space worldwide as well as in the United States and in Omaha. CoStar and other international sources have reported that the major players, when Google and Facebook and Amazon, are really bullish on people going back and working in office. And for instance, some international companies have gone public with WeWork, which is a how would you describe WeWork?
It's co-working space, which
Yeah.
means that basically you have
It's
some
flex
people
space.
that are permanently there, some people that are temporarily there, but you have lots of companies and entrepreneurs using small amounts of space in proximity to one another.
And some of them can be large space. So a lot of these, say Amazon or Facebook, if they need call it a pop-up office, or even if it's for several months, but the size fluctuates. It might be a 10,000 square foot co-working space or whatever, but it's kind of plug and play. It might have desks. It might have things where they can get something up and running. Disaster recovery is always good if something burns down or gets flooded or something. But there's a number of companies that before the pandemic seemed to be doing pretty good. Some of them had growing pains. Some are growing too fast probably. But you're seeing migration back into the office space and companies committing. Yes, there are some companies that say, hey, we never needed to do a new call center because we can have people wired up at their houses, and you can order your Omaha steaks in someone's living room, or the operator will be in their living room, something like that. But at the same time, there are enough people that are bullish on it. So people always ask me, Jeff, what's going to happen to office space, and they ask me about other types of real estate too. But my answer is usually there's positive signs, but it's really too early to tell.
No, I'm not too worried about office space. I think it will have a little bit of a tough time for a few years, but other than that, it'll be just fine. I think a lot of people have realized that while it is nice to work from home and probably
They love their family.
and yeah, maybe not as much as they used to, but while some people are very productive there, I have talked to so many company decision makers that have said, hey, I can handle them being home once in a while or some of the days, but we don't like this not having them around at all. So I'm not worried about office space long term. Hey, I want to work in one story, though, before we go to our middle of the show break. Groundbreaking took place earlier this week for the $20 million Granary District project in downtown Ralston. This is near 72nd and Q, dude. And this includes a highly interactive outdoor space, which is currently Bushwhackers parking lot. It'll feature a 27-foot LED television screen, 14,000 square feet for outdoor gatherings, thousands of people, and it's being described as a 3-season event venue. But this will be just part of this whole district that's being built around this old granary building. And we even know that the first retail tenant could open as early as May in that building.
I kind of think of Millennium Park in Chicago.
Millennium Park, Ralston.
Yeah, they need a splash pad.
And with that, I hope the developers are listening, because you just got your money recommendation right there, ladies and gentlemen. And it is time for our middle of the show break. And when we come back, we're going to do something a little bit fun. We're going to talk about Forbes magazine's list of best cities for renters. I wonder what city you've heard of may have made the top 10. You don't want to miss any of that. You are listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
I can rest.
Nice work.
Okay, so best cities for renters. Got a nice big article here. I think I'll talk a little bit about what some of the things they say about Omaha. That sounds good. Nice
My
picture.
camera is up.
Nice picture.
Doesn't get warm anymore.
Looks like a Brad Williams. Okay, so Plano, Texas, number 1. Omaha, number 2. Raleigh, number 3. Lincoln, Nebraska, number 4. Gilbert, Arizona, number 5.
Resident apartment renters?
For best cities for renters. Atlanta, number 6.
Went to Paxton Chop House last night.
Scottsdale, number 7.
801 Chop House.
Very good. Henderson, number 8. Number 9, Virginia Beach, and 10, Charlotte. How was 801?
Good.
Good. I haven't been there.
Adam Watson. Have you met Adam Watson?
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah. But Paxton's great. I haven't been there in a while, but that's pretty good. I think I'd give it a little bit of a nod above Fleming's.
Really?
Yeah.
I like them both.
I do too. I like Fleming's a lot too. I'd give Mahogany and 801 a slight nod above Fleming's, and that's no diss on Fleming's, because I like that place a lot. But
Have you ever been to Binion's?
yes, a few times actually. The only problem is good place, great atmosphere, good steaks and all that, but you got to go through the den of cigarette smoke to get to it.
Sure.
I mean, by the time I get there, I'm like, geez.
You know,
But it's a good restaurant.
I still go to Kona, and I love Kona. They cannot get rid of the sewer smell.
Yes, they would.
It seemed kind of worse last time. And they supposedly they dug out 2 pipes on both sides of the building.
So they're trying.
They can't figure it out. But that's got to be like detrimental. I mean,
Yeah, because it's such a great restaurant, but that is not an appetizing smell.
Yeah.
I noticed NP Dodge residential agents will send out these little cards for $10 off various restaurants. You know, they've been doing that for years and years. Kono is this week's or this month's. Yeah. So,
The same deal that before that all went out of business.
yeah, but that was years ago.
God, that was hilarious.
That was before we were with the company. That was back in the old days.
When did Starbucks start on the 8601 Dodge?
I don't know if we're supposed to necessarily announce that.
They can't see me. My back's to the camera.
You got
Like I
audio.
hear you.
There's audio there. There's audio
I
there.
can see you.
There's camera right
It's
there.
just a really good rumor.
Shining right at your face.
The sound's gonna go blank for like 10 seconds in the video.
Yeah.
For some reason.
It's Girl Omaha cut, but there's just been the one part where he's like, I wonder when Bucks opens at
Roll
Dodge.
on, God, except for this.
I wonder when Bucks opens at Dodge. That's what we'll do.
Finally, the weather's changing.
So see, this is why you should listen to Uncut. You just got a highly unauthorized bit of Girl Omaha rumor
Yeah.
right there.
We can always get another show.
Oh, man.
Where's your day take you?
Nothing. Just some stuff at home. I get work done. I'm gonna take it easy.
Is that nice?
Yeah. I'm gonna take advantage tonight of my new patio heater.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sleep outside.
It's tempting. That's tempting, right? Although I don't know if the propane would last all night. I can't imagine that. We'll see how fast it drains one of those propane tanks, but I can't imagine they last terribly long. When you turn it full blast, I mean, it's flaming.
You see them at restaurants all the time.
You know, I wonder if some of those have a permanent natural gas feed that you can't move them. Mine is highly movable.
Show's going fast.
And it's already 9:36. These last two segments will be rapido.
We had a really good meal at 401 Eat and Drink or whatever.
I love that.
402, yeah. It's there. The first store was 401.
They upgraded by a digit.
I don't know where they
That
got
was
that.
really good.
I don't know where they got
like
that.
that.
I don't know where they got that
Flatbread.
name.
Oh, butternut squash flatbread.
I've been there for lunch a couple times. They have a California chicken sandwich that is awesome at 402. We should
It
review
was my
that for
first
Omaha
time
Eats.
there, so I'm like, wow, really good.
Oh, you just finally made it there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's
Last Thursday.
good. We should review that. There should be a Omaha Eats review.
Yeah, I want to congratulate Pickle Mints for opening their new L Street Marketplace.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know, could have put it on the script. Just let me know it was open.
That's true.
You ever think like, Amy, do you ever think like some of the listeners like, Trenton's just obsessed with Picklemans?
Yeah. Good client and friend.
I had Picklemans for lunch on Thursday.
Tell you what I'm jonesing for
Thursday.
is the crab cake, spinach salad.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't have it
At,
right now, but I will. Do you mind if I get your
Where'd
phone
I go?
number or your email? and send it to
Pitch.
you?
Okay.
Oh,
Pigeon.
yeah.
I'm not allowed to say that word.
It was
Pitch?
a,
Oh,
It sounds weird. I don't know. I
oh,
can't
say it.
The pitch.
It's not too bad.
sounds like bitch. Is what she said.
Went over to Bitch and had a really good wood-fired pizza.
Yeah, when I say the
Yeah.
other word, like,
And
I
you
went
don't-
to the
yeah,
beach. I'm
you
like,
don't have a chance to
the ocean. I like saying, oh,
The ocean. La Playa.
She gives a great
Sure.
she gives a great
I
sales
hate that
pitch.
I introduced you to
She gets what?
You give a great sales pitch.
You betcha.
Yeah,
Thank you
it's
for the call.
plosive.
Anyway, I was hoping maybe you could come over after your shift. I just need some.
All right, we got the newsletter. Now we've committed the newsletter.
Sort out.
Oh, I'm going to remind him again in the last segment if we have
I
time.
think we're gonna get a ton of offers on that sponsorship.
We don't need any. We don't need any for. We got people that are like,
Yeah.
we're going to pull the trigger this very, very soon.
Damn right.
We have a lot of people that are seriously interested in that. In all honesty.
Like our free no-cost risk management for commercial properties, we provide preventative.
You know what? I wish we could, and I probably shouldn't say this on Grow Omaha Uncut. I wish we could ban all public service announcements in our show that are from the Ad Council or any federal government agency. Like, I just hate them. They're so patronizing and offensive to your intelligence.
When people ask me what I did, I told them I was president of the ad council.
At least they got rid of the country bumpkin with his COVID warning. Well, you ought to stay indoors and don't go licking people neither. And don't go kissing strangers because it's just wrong. I mean, that guy was, there were some people in like
Yeah,
some
actually,
Washington,
he used
D.C.
the word
boardroom.
lick.
No, I made
Don't
that
go
part
lick.
up.
It was like
He's
some
like,
hick that's
he's like,
I'm
don't
a
get too
little-
close to folks indoors. Like, well, some people like getting close
And
to
it's
folks.
illegal.
Like getting close to folks indoors. Oh, we're back on.
KFAV and KFAV.com, an iHeartRadio station.
And welcome back to Grow Omaha, the area's only show focused on the growth and development of your favorite city. And this is the real estate development spotlight brought to you by Noddle Companies. NoddleCompanies.com. We love Noddle Companies because they are doing such a great job of making our city a better place. And some of the developments that Noddle Companies has brewing here in the Omaha area include the medical campus west of Village Point, the world-famous Sixarbin Village, Steel Ridge in Sarpy County, River's Edge on the west side of Council Bluffs, and the Builders District downtown. And this morning, Saturday morning, I was driving around downtown. That's how dedicated I am to this show. I go and I drive around sometimes in the wee hours of the morning just to make sure I know what I'm talking about. And I drove through the Builders District. And I'm telling you, Trenton, there's a lot of site preparation going on west of the brand new Kiewit headquarters. I think we're going to see.
Parking garage?
No, the parking garage is to the north, and it's open and ready to go. But I think you're going to see some stuff coming out of the ground pretty soon in that Builders District. It's going to look really, really nice. That is getting imminent. And then we suspect later in the year we'll have a 5-story office building on the south side of Kiewit. That hasn't started yet, but boy, there's activity brewing to the west side of the Kiewit building.
The investment that's going downtown and to the park, the riverfront park, and all these new projects. And Noddle's certainly a huge part of that.
Yeah, Noddle Company's a full-service commercial real estate developer. They're based here in Omaha, but they do work all over the country. Fortunately for us, though, some of their best projects are right here in our town, noddlecompanies.com. Well, what are the best cities for renters in 2021? Forbes magazine is famous for coming up with a lot of these lists. Very interesting ones. Got to give Forbes credit because there's some pretty good ones. So let's go through this. Best cities for renters in 2021.
Number 10.
I'm actually starting at the beginning just because I haven't stacked my papers appropriately. Number one, Plano, Texas.
Number 2,
Omaha, Nebraska.
No way.
Yes, and it says you can find affordable, roomy apartments in Omaha and perhaps even score a good view of the Missouri River. Average rent for a 2-bedroom apartment would require only 22% of the city's median household income of about $60,000. Omaha renters have good access to parks and generally decent weather. What?
See, you got to have them come during this time of year.
What? Where does it? Now, I love my hometown. And I promote Omaha to anyone who will listen.
Easy. This is international radio here.
But we do not have decent weather. That is
excellent weather, ladies and gentlemen.
That is our one true weakness, and I will not hide it, sugarcoat it, or lie about it. Weather is not our attribute.
I'll tell you what, diversity is very important, and we have diverse weather.
So this is kind of interesting, but don't expect to find an apartment building with a pool in Omaha where less than 10% of rental units have a pool amenity. Really? Every apartment I ever lived in Omaha always had a pool.
Or a pond.
Pond would be good for you. Aside from the seasonal weather issues like tornadoes and snowstorms, they just said we had decent weather, liars. Omaha doesn't generally experience destructive natural disasters. Well, we've got that.
Variety is the spice of life, Jeff.
Listen, this is great. Aside from the seasonal weather issues like tornadoes and snowstorms, Omaha doesn't generally experience destructive natural disasters.
Well, and that
like tsunamis. We don't have any of those.
Before we were going to do We Don't Coast, it was going to be we're not Oklahoma City.
Omaha's
they get a lot of tornadoes.
Yeah, and no basements. Omaha's rate of violent crime is about middle of the pack of the largest 100 cities, but has a lower burglary rate. And its rate of motor vehicle theft is, this is not good. Rate of motor vehicle theft is the highest among our top 10 cities. And then finally, it says the city is in the process of revitalizing its riverfront with plans for a large green area for activities and entertainment, including a performance pavilion and interactive water features.
Did they talk about bike trails at all?
No, that was all they said. Then number 3, Raleigh, North Carolina. Number 4, Lincoln, Nebraska, our little brother to the west. Number 5, Gilbert, Arizona.
Gilbert's on fire.
Number 6, Atlanta. Number 7, Scottsdale. Number 8, Henderson, Nevada. Number 9, Virginia Beach. And number 10, Charlotte.
Nice.
So we're in good company.
It's good to be included, and it's good to be towards the top.
Well, we're going to take our final break of the morning, and when we come back, it is the segment you have all been waiting for, the Lightning Round, brought to you by Turner Construction. We have a lot of things on the Lightning Round, some really good news items, and of course, the red meat. We'll talk a little bit about restaurants. That's coming up right after this on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Does it feel like we took an extra break this show?
Yes.
Oh, the first one we went long. The news I went long with it a little bit because we were kind of
I noticed that. It was
You have a lot
like
of stuff.
chatty.
Yeah.
20.
Sweet. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing to the newsletter.
What's that?
Brad.
Oh, did he say send a bunch of them? Oh, good.
We got to keep doing that.
Yeah, we'll hit it again during the lightning round. I've got it. I actually have it on the lightning round script, so we can hit it again. Right there. Look at all this lightning round stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Who gets the news? Who
8,
gets
9,
the
10,
emails
11.
at Omaha? You?
I do. Yeah, I do. If I can remember how to access.
I'm gonna respond to like both the men and women. Are you single?
Sorry, Amy. He sometimes forgets. He sometimes forgets.
Being appropriate.
No, that you're married.
No, because people are always on their phone. It's easy for people to while they're thinking about it.
Yeah. No, I think this newsletter will rocket, and I fully expect.
I would love the newsletter.
When I go to my News at Omaha account, I got to look up the password. But when I go there, I wouldn't be surprised if we have 20 or 30 of them, because people will
This
want
looks
this
like
newsletter.
about 7 or 8 already. This is gonna blow it up.
That's just from Facebook, yeah.
Let's remind them again. You remind them again, and then I'll thank the people's first names, saying thank you, and they'll get a kick out of it.
I don't know if I'll have time for that, will we? Because we got 11 stories.
All right, I want to talk about that's fine.
Okay.
But
Okay, we'll do Pickleman's first. So you're just gonna do a brief one, right? We're not gonna do the whole history of Pickleman's, right?
right.
Okay.
Jeez, yeah.
Well, I know you get into your clients.
Dude, that sounded weird.
You're really a big fan of your clients.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to them.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Maggot at your service from NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate. We're also brought to you by D&M Roofing. Well, this is the moment everyone has been waiting for, the lightning round by Turner Construction. The lightning round is when we talk about a lot of things in a little bit of time. And we thank Turner for bringing this segment to you. Turner is building for the future and making such a huge impact in Omaha. There's been a lot of talk about the Sarpy County data center in the last couple of weeks, in that it added yet another 1 million square feet to the 3.6 million square feet total under construction. Well, Turner's doing that project. So that's obviously a huge project. But Turner doesn't do just huge projects. They do a lot of $5 and $10 million projects. A lot of money to me, but in terms of commercial construction, that's a small project. And they do a damn good job on those too. They've got outstanding people. 150 full-time Turner employees are right here in the Omaha metro area. And the last thing about Turner I want to mention, we really thank them for their community investment. They have done so much working with the community colleges and other educational and workforce development entities here in town to bring so many young people into the construction trades, jobs that we desperately need to fill, and Turner is more than pulling its weight when it comes to building our construction and related trades workforces. Turner, sponsor of Grow Omaha. Trenton, we got a new restaurant in L Street.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Pickleman's Gourmet Restaurant. Alex Harrington and his team. This is their 7th that Alex owns and operates, and it's the 31st, that's not a word, 31st restaurant in the Midwest chain, and it's always growing. But this is the great space. It's in L Street Marketplace, which was Smash Burger.
Oh yeah,
And
good spot.
I was over there for the opening a couple days ago, and it's rocking. And you know everything's fresh like it always is, but it's a brand new restaurant, so of course it's fresh. And it's really blown up, and I encourage everybody to go to Pickleman's.
I had Pickleman's for lunch on Thursday.
Good stuff.
Hey, Best Burger has relocated from the Florence area to the 75 North development near 30th and Lake. We have a couple of ribbon cuttings in Sarpy County, including one restaurant. The restaurant is Ikasan Ramen. April 6th at Shadow Lake Town Center is that ribbon cutting. And then on April 7th, a business called HomeWise Roofing and Exteriors at 20202. Great address, 20202 Patton Street in Gretna, ribbon cutting. Metropolitan Community College is planning a tenant finish, small tenant finish job inside the Ashton building in Millwork Commons. That's where Flywheel is, 1218 Nicholas Street. And they're already there.
Well, it's been built out for a year. I think I don't know if they've come back or not.
Oh, okay, but the office is done.
Beautiful space.
We toured it. Yeah. Hey, we had a couple questions last week, and Brad Williams, our teammate from Brad Williams Photography, tracked down some information. One question was about the former Village Inn at Oakview Mall. That is going to be a new office for iCare West, which is currently located in a 3-story office building just a few blocks to the west.
147th and Center, yeah.
Yeah, 4,800 square foot building there. So Village Inn to iCare West office. And then another question about the Moxie Hotel that is planned for 12th and Harney in the Old Market. It appears as if that is still a go.
9,000 square foot lot. It's amazing what they can do.
Yeah, 6-story building on a very small lot. Apparently the building permit was being held up by a fire marshal, but it looks like it should be good to go pretty soon. Hey, since we are on the topic of downtown hotels, the Peregrine Hotel has opened. And the Peregrine, Trenton, is the hotel that is in a renovated old insurance office building right next to the Woodman Tower. The address is 203 South 18th Street. It has 89 rooms. It was a $15 million renovation project. Took a couple years, and it's part of Hilton's Curio brand of hotels.
Congratulations to the general manager, David Scott, who we had on the show a few months ago, and that's a neat project.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. I have not gone up into it, but I walked by and peered into the window, and I was impressed with what I saw. It's a nice addition to the local hotel market. And speaking of hotels, while the Peregrine is opening and now opened, hotels are born and die, just like every living creature. And the former Days Inn at 11515 Miracle Hills Drive is going to get a completely different life. The former Days Inn in Miracle Hills, which sits on a 3.2-acre site, it's 2 stories. It is going to turn into a 136-unit efficiency apartment building.
That's a big, it's pretty popular now to do that.
Why not? I mean, if the Sheraton up the hill can become an assisted living facility, we'll turn the Days Inn into 136 efficiency units. Makes a lot of sense. And of course, that begs the question for a future show, what's going to happen in that whole Miracle Hills area? Because it's in desperate need of an upgrade, because it's gotten, parts of it have gotten kind of tired,
yes,
if that's a fair way to put it. A new restaurant has opened at 35th and Center. It's called Sunny Side on Center, 3528 Center Street. It's open from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Menu heavy on breakfast items. I'm going to give it a try sometime.
I know you will.
Because you know me, Trenton, I love going to breakfast. I do it way more than I probably should. Can we give you one more reminder for the Grow Omaha Weekly Market Report? We're launching this newsletter this week, and we promise you, if you care at all about what we talk about on this show, you're absolutely going to love this newsletter. New restaurants, new retailers, development news, business news, and we'll have it every single week. It's free. Just send your email to news@growomaha.com or direct message us on Facebook.
And thanks to Mary, Galen, Joe, Pamela, Ken, Suzanne, Lisa, and many more. But those are the ones that Brad Williams was kind enough to send me from our Facebook page. Keep sending your email addresses in.
As Trenton likes to say, don't cost you nothing.
Don't cost nothing.
Don't cost nothing.
I do it cooler than you, though.
Okay, do it.
Don't cost nothing.
Hey, our last story is Henry Dorley Zoo has opened a $6.1 million interactive Stingray exhibit. Now, wait, wasn't that one animal show host killed by a stingray?
That's what I thought, too. Greg Irwin?
Like, didn't it leap through the air and tragically stab him or something?
Yeah, I think what they did is they put some sponges on the end of their stingray so they won't hurt the kids.
So be careful. But as long as you take precautions.
But you can touch them.
I can't wait to go see this. This sounds so cool. It's a 22,000-gallon saltwater pool, 40 stingrays almost in there.
They must have an inside place because it's year-round or something like that. And the first 100 guests or something, they can feed them each day or something like that. They get a cup of food.
That would be very cool.
But also the sea lions. We love the sea lion exhibit there. And, they just keep growing the zoo. Dennis Pate and who succeeded
Dr. Simmons.
Dr. Simmons.
Doc Simmons.
It's amazing what they do there.
Hey, Trenton, I confess I didn't go to the zoo last year because of the whole pandemic thing, so I have not yet seen the new sea lion exhibit. But
Unbelievable. It's $26 million.
I just bought a pass through the NP Dodge Employees Membership Program to the zoo, so I'm definitely going to go there and see that sea lion exhibit and also go check out that new Stingray exhibit. The zoo is they never fail to disappoint. And it seems like every year there's something new. And the zoo with their very generous patrons who happen to be some of the most influential business and philanthropic leaders in Omaha have got some other stuff up their sleeve.
No question about it.
I don't know. It's going to be very, very exciting to see how that all plays out. So that is your news of the week brought to you by Turner Construction. They are building Omaha's future. And again, send us your email to news@growomaha.com or direct message us on Facebook because, as you can tell, we are over the moon excited about this new newsletter that's coming out. I've personally been working on it for like weeks. And so it's.
I've been working Jeff's butt off on this thing.
I know Trenton has been sweating vicariously through me when it comes to the newsletter, but he will contribute to it. We'll have pretty high expectations from him. So anyway, that is your news of the week brought to you by Turner Construction. And of course, if anyone out there ever needs commercial real estate services, we strongly encourage you to reach out to us at NAINP Dodge, and you can find us at NAINPDodge.com. And that doesn't mean just like leasing space, but we also help people with transactions, and we have a full service property management department as well. One thing we do request, though, is if you stop by the office, don't tap on the glass and don't feed the Trenton. With that, it is time to wrap up our show for this week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Maggot.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by NAINP Dodge and D&M Roofing on News Radio 1110 KFAB. I couldn't hear them. I didn't hear the music at first.
Sorry, it was slowly fading, but like
Okay.
perfect on time.
It just went longer than I thought. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.